Don't you want the story twice? Look no fear, the studio say remakes.
Okay. Are you ready?
Am I ready?
Are we all recording?
Are we all ready? If you're ready, raise your hand.
I am ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, cool. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of season 2 of Once More with Feeling.
Called, of course,
podcast.
Once More
with
Screaming.
hiding in the hallway while your friends are screaming bloody murders or getting killed by the slasher in the mansion.
The Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, the Haunted Mansion. No, it's Once More with Screaming, I think we landed on. That's a good
It's
one.
too good, but
Nadia, what do you think
yours
of
is all right
Once More
too.
with Screaming?
Once more screaming.
Yeah.
This is our
As
season
little
2 title.
Season title.
I like that. I like that.
We are joined here today by another guest. Gus has been once again knocking it out of the park with these outreach emails.
Thank you.
It's Nadia from WomanCarryingMan. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi.
Whoa!
So happy to be here. I'm sorry my better half is not here.
No, don't
like-
apologize.
No.
Got
As we
lesser.
said, as we described, as we mentioned when we first said hello to you, you are the better half.
I'll make sure to tell Jake that
And
as soon as.
if
Be sure
Jake
to,
wants
yeah.
to disprove it, he has to come on himself.
Yeah, that's right. I'll set the standard here.
Yeah.
He does Sardonicast, so I'll make sure he watches this episode as a study.
Excellent.
Good. I'm Gus Schiff, screenwriter, improviser, cat dad.
Yeah.
Now.
You've graduated. It didn't take very
He's
long
so
for you to
cute.
become cat dad.
He gets really excited when one of us comes home from work. And so if you hear little scratches in the episode, it might be my pet this time.
Wow.
Not Mariana's.
Wow, my cat
Won't
my
that
cat
be
is such
crazy?
a cat. Listen to all the cute cat stuff my cat does. The same thing that every other cat does.
Sprinting. He's sprinting around my little apartment right now. It's so cute.
I have my dog right next to me. She's just sleeping.
Excellent. Yeah, we're very friendly to the little clicky clacks in the background. That's, a podcast
That's
staple here.
Well, hopefully she'll be put because if my son cries downstairs, she'll howl. But but hopefully he's happy.
I'm Mariana. I'm a YouTube film critic and media scholar, and today we're talking about Child's Play. I'm so excited. I love this movie so much, and the new one is so awful. So it'll be fun to talk about. You know what I didn't do? I'm just
did you
now
not
realizing
do?
that I didn't do the year research.
Oh my God.
I know, which is
It was 75?
no, God,
The,
no.
the first one
80.
was 1988.
Yeah, 88, which is actually probably a pretty good year to
Yeah.
do the year research on.
My God.
So, you know what I'm going to do is just look up the year 1988 really
You're
quickly.
you're gonna pull a Gus?
I'm going to pull a Gus and
Do the research after the guest is already in the Zoom?
do the
No, that's
research
okay.
during
You know
the
what's
show.
funny? I actually looked up I usually looked up what year and those things. I usually don't go into movies pretty blind when I review it for our channel.
Yeah. Good.
Because I don't like trailers and they spoil everything for me. But
True.
yeah, this one I actually am a very big fan of Child's Play. So
Excellent.
excited to talk about this.
Hell yeah.
Very excited.
Okay.
Okay, we have to vamp now. Nadia, what is your least favorite memory from 4th grade?
Least favorite memory from fourth
Yeah.
grade.
I'll also accept favorite memory from 7th grade.
Let's see. I think probably not having pets. Probably talking about it. I used to always be one of those kids who wanted to bring stray dogs or cats home, and my mom would make me kind of leave them out, and they would leave. So yeah, probably the least. But then I got her back with lying to her about my cat, and then
Learning a very
getting it
good
when I was
lesson.
14. Yeah.
Lies get you cats.
Let's
yeah.
get you what you want.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And probably the favorite memory of 7th grade. I don't know. 7th grade is probably the easier for me to think about worst memory because it was middle school. So
Yeah,
it's just
terrible
the
year.
awkward.
Everybody had a terrible
awkward.
7th grade.
No, it's the best memory from 7th grade.
Best memory from 7th grade. All I remember is not having recess, and I hated that. But because we went from elementary to middle school. But the best memory is probably like a trip that I took to Mount St. Helens with my family, and we hiked, and yeah, it was really nice. And we saw like
nice.
deers, and I remember like reading Harry Potter in the back of the car the whole ride with
Classic.
like.
God, remember when it was
Family
like not
friends.
controversial to like Harry Potter?
That was before it was ruined. Yeah,
I wish, man.
yeah,
Bummer.
yeah.
I was looking the remake spoilers. The remake is in 2019, and I was looking at some of the things that happened in 2019, and I was like, man, the good old days.
It's also something like magical to be ignorant of like the environment and just be able to like
for
absorb
fucking
the
sure.
story for what it is.
Yeah.
Whereas like now when you read a book, you're kind of mindful of authors a little bit more. So yeah, it kind of ruins things. I kind of like
That's
I like
why
reading authors that like reading books that I don't know the authors very much, to be honest with you.
I only read books from dead people because they can't disappoint me. I can't just be scrolling on Twitter and see like, oh, I hate the blacks. You know,
I don't
and
know
then
if
be
you
like,
read like Ezra Pound, then I feel like he's still kind of. If you read about his life or Chaucer,
he-
they're pretty disappointing.
yeah, but they're
sometimes.
already dead. Like they're not going to
Yeah.
get more controversial.
That's true. That's
know?
true. There's a limit to
Yeah.
everything.
As bad as H.P. Lovecraft was as a person, he can't get any
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I can read all of Lovecraft's books as like knowing that he was terrible. And have a different kind of conflict. Are you done with your research? Can I
you know
stop
what?
vamping?
Yeah, sure. I am done with my research. The only important thing that happened. Oh shit! I've accidentally. Whoops. The only thing important that happened in 1988 is the collapse of the Soviet Union. That's it. H.W. Bush won the presidency, and the Soviet Union fell. The end. We're gonna leave it there. We are in.
All right.
We are in like. I mean, part of the reason I don't think it's worth necessarily going through the entirety of the 80s, even though yes, I didn't do my research, is because we just did this for
Oh.
Poltergeist.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. You forgot one of the most important things from 1988, which is that the movie Rambo 3, which came out in 1988, was dedicated to the brave fighters of the Mujahideen.
The Mujahideen, yeah, we,
And the good people of it, the gallant people of Afghanistan.
yeah,
As
we
they
mentioned that.
fought against Soviet invasion.
Yeah. So,
I did not know about that.
didn't we talk about this in the Freaky Friday episode?
Because I got the release date super wrong.
Right, yeah.
Do you think between Rambo 3 and Rocky 4, how much do you think Sylvester Stallone was responsible for the collapse of the Soviet Union?
I don't think he was responsible at all for the collapse of the Soviet Union, but I do think that he was, that a plurality of the percentage of influence for the support of the collapse of the Soviet Union came from Sylvester Stallone. Like under 10%.
Okay. That's still a lot.
I know.
Tell me about Child's Play.
Well, Child's Play was directed by a guy named Tom Holland, who is not the husband of Zendaya. Is it different Tom Holland? From a script written by Don Mancini, Mancini maybe? I don't know. Who works on basically Chucky movies and nothing else. It's like all he's made is Chucky movies. I think there's 7 Chucky movies, and he has been a writer on, I think, every single one. Including the TV show.
Chucky TV show.
And the TV show, yeah, which I haven't seen, although I've heard it's very good. It was filmed in Chicago, and it looks like it was filmed in Chicago. I love the location shooting in this. It's really lovely, and it's like super grungy in that way that Chicago, is, if you know how to look at it properly. It was made for about $10 million and made 44 back. It was a super success. Not so successful critically. Critics were kind of mixed on it. The people who really, were already into the genre were about it, and the ones who weren't thought it was just like silly schlock. And how wrong they were, because I think this movie's actually really good. So let me do a synopsis here. We begin with serial killer Charles Lee Ray, played by Brad Dourif. Classic Brad Dourif. Running away from the cops, he breaks into a toy store, and when Detective Mike Norris shoots him, he grabs this very popular animatronic toy called a good guy and voodoos his soul into it.
Yep.
Elsewhere, in a shitty Chicago apartment, a little kid named Andy is making his mom...
I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. And then a lightning bolt strikes the store and blows out the windows in like the first of like 4 or 5 amazing explosions in this movie.
Really good explosions in this movie.
The first scene had like incredible gunshot noises.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn, I miss those gun sound effects.
It feels
It's
like
amazing.
the 80s.
How things were before, like CGI, you know, where you had like real effects and you can kind of just
I
see
miss it.
everything just shatter and the set pieces and like the way that everything's located. Yeah.
And it looks good.
It looks good. It's the thing that happens when your budget is small enough and you don't have the reliance on post that you do now, where you have to actually prioritize what you're gonna, focus your cinematography and your sound design on. I think that's what's going on there. It's so nice to like be in a movie and feel like it was made with intention.
It was, but also looking back at it, it's interesting because we're so used to like the CGI world and like the sounds and effects from today's film that when you look at films like this, it kind of gives you the 80s vibes, like Freddy Krueger.
Oh, yeah.
And all these different aspects of set pieces and designs that went into it. But it's also funny because I feel like movies today are kind of more obsessed with realism.
Oh, yeah.
And
We've talked about that a lot so far on the
okay,
podcast.
yeah. Like watching this 1988 version, it's like that doesn't really like it's more like it's more imaginative. You kind of believe it more, and that also makes it more fun.
Yeah, that was a point of like, I don't know about contention, but it seems like that was kind of the hinge upon which all of the critical opinion like swung, is that like, is the humor in this movie working or not? And I think it really does, because it's just that kind of movie, and it's like, this is the era of movie making where you can just kind of make whatever. It's like whatever weird shit that comes into your mind, you can just do it, which is not a thing
more
that
like
we prefer today.
horror comedy, but it's also a little slapstick.
Yeah, it's camp for sure.
Yeah,
and it just gets more campy the more Chucky movies we get. Okay, so elsewhere in a shitty Chicago apartment, a little kid named Andy is making his mom breakfast in bed on his birthday because he's just a perfect little sweetie pie. And this might be my favorite child actor ever. He's so good, and he's written so well. He's great. So he unwraps his birthday presents, and he's very disappointed that he didn't get a good guy doll. He really likes this good guy doll. It's a show on TV that he's obsessed with, whatever.
And he's wearing the good guy pajamas, and he eats the good guy cereal.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he wears the good guy outfit later on in the movie, which is kind of thematically interesting. His mom, Karen, is really sorry, but their family isn't doing great financially. She's a single mom. She works like a jewelry counter or something. So she didn't have enough time to save up. But at work one day, her coworker says there's a guy outside selling a black market good guy doll. So she buys it. And then the doll introduces itself to Andy as Chucky. Pretty weird. They're not supposed to have names. That night...
No, they are. They do have names. One of the things in the ads is like, and each doll has its own name, so it's just yours.
My beezy.
Yeah, I think you
so it's
name
not
it
weird.
like you name it.
Okay.
In the first movie, right?
Okay.
Like it's or
No.
the kid doesn't name it.
The kid doesn't name. Each doll says 3 different things.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things is like, hi, my name is whatever. In the
Okay,
ad
got
that
it.
he's watching
Okay.
on TV.
Got it.
After the cartoon, it's like, hi, my name is like Owen or something.
Got
And
it.
each manufactured doll has its own name.
Okay.
Got
All right.
it.
You know,
Got
so
it.
it's not, that's not supposed to be weird. When he's
And
like,
this
hi,
was
I'm
shown
Chucky.
when like he was making his own food.
Yeah,
and
when he was
everything?
making his
Okay.
breakfast.
I think I was
really
lost
liked
in like
this.
that
I really liked this
aspect of
movie.
him like just putting cereals everywhere and
Yeah.
extra sugar in the cereal
Dumping
and
sugar on top. It's so cute.
yeah, and me having a toddler having like a secondhand anxiety and heart attack.
The
because,
shot
like, oh
of
my
him,
god,
like carrying that tray down the hall and with the like handheld
and just spilling
camera.
milk
It's
everywhere.
so
And
funny.
yeah. No, it's interesting because this movie is 1988. Like it kind of reminded me of Home Alone in that sense of just like the independence. Like you never really see movies today where the kid has that much independence of just their lives that young. Like
Yeah.
this kid is 6 years old.
Yeah.
And he's toasting and making, doing everything.
Yeah, he's doing
possible.
it badly, but he's doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not his first time because of the fact that he knows where everything is.
Right,
so,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that night, Karen's working a night shift, so her friend babysits and is pushed out the window by an unknown assailant. Detective Mike Norris from the beginning arrives, and Andy tries to tell him that the doll had something to do with it, but no one will believe him because he is a child. Then we get the scariest scene, in my opinion, which is where Andy gets on the Chicago public transit system and goes to this crack house because Chucky told him to. That's where the getaway driver who abandoned him in the beginning is hiding out. So he blows up the house. There's our second big explosion of the movie. It's a great one.
And it's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's fine. What I really liked, and shout out to the special effects guy, is that first explosion. That was like everything got like blown out, which was great. But this one, because it was a gas explosion, it was a fireball. And I think that attention to detail is really what separates Child's Play from from other crappy slasher movies from the 80s.
Not all explosions
Yeah.
are made equal. So they send
Although
Andy.
the kid would be dead, like,
Oh.
he was like literally coming into the house and everything is like blowing up, and the kid
He was
doesn't have
very
any scratch in
close.
him. But yeah,
He's cloaked in plot armor. So they send Andy to a psych ward, and Karen discovers that they never put batteries in the doll, and he's been talking anyway. Oh my god. Pretty
Yeah.
creepy. So that's when Chucky comes alive and attacks her. She runs away and she tries to tell Norris. He still won't believe her. So she goes to find the guy she bought the doll from. The guy attacks her. Norris saves her and then learn the guy stole the doll from the toy store after the shootout in the beginning. Meanwhile, Chucky has visited the voodoo guy he learned all this stuff from and gets him to tell him how to leave the doll's body, which is that he has to transfer his soul into the body of the first person he told his name to, which is Andy. So he goes to the hospital where Andy is to kill him. I super don't fuck with this scene. I hate child endangerment, and that kid is like really good at acting afraid. It's very upsetting.
Yeah.
So he electrocutes the fucking doctor, terrorizes this kid. Andy runs home. Chucky knocks him the fuck out, and Karen and Norris arrive just in
With
time.
a wiffle ball bat.
Wiffle ball bat, yeah, to stop him from completing this possession spell. And then they just, like, the rest of this movie is just them, like, tearing this doll to pieces. They set him on fire. They rip his limbs off. Finally, they shoot him through the heart, and he dies. And that's basically the end of the
Nadia,
movie.
we watched the movie Wicker Man and the remake for Wicker Man a couple episodes ago, which was really fun. In the remake to
seen
Wicker
this.
Man, there's a moment where Nicolas Cage like dives under a pier to rescue a drowned girl, and then he wakes up from that dream, and then there's still a drowned girl is still in his arms, and then he wakes up again from that dream. It's like fuck. And the ending of the Child's Play was like the good version of that.
Yes.
Oh
where
my
it's
God.
like they kept thinking he was dead, and he kept coming back.
And each time
And it
he's
was-
just like more and more degraded and gross
Yeah.
and like foreign looking, in terms of like just Uncanny Valley-esque, where it's just like plastic dripping off his face. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. It was
yeah.
so creepy.
It's so good. Nadia, you said you like this movie a lot. That you're a big fan of this movie.
I watched this movie when I was way too young, and I remember like having nightmares about it. And when I rewatched it this time, I should say, for this podcast, I was still scared, and I still looked away. So I guess I'm still a child inside, but it was a lot of fun because it's just one of those like just foul mouth, just horror film that just doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's just a really good time. I love the scene where I'm forgetting the mom's name.
Karen.
Karen, yes, where she discovers and she's talking to the doll, and she's like, and then he goes, you slut, and all that stuff, and it's like, it's so funny the way he just comes alive because she's threatening to burn him, and then he's just like, cursing her out. And it's like Chucky is so unapologetically himself. Like you have these sometimes horror films that has the monster or the villain who is just kind of like hates himself or is kind of manifestation of like the bad and evil. And he is evil for sure, but he like has such self-love.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is just really funny to see. Like, in like too much way. Like some self-hatred would do you so good.
Yeah, he
You
has
know?
very healthy self-esteem. Chucky does.
Yeah.
Too healthy. Too healthy.
It's very much like, how dare this cop stop me from strangling more women?
Yeah, and he's just confident in like anybody. Like he had his old body that he left for like the doll, and now he wants to be in a child. He's just like so flexible in who he is, and you know.
My favorite scene, I think, is when they like Chucky's in the elevator and that older couple is there, and the lady's like, "Ugh, ugly doll," and then as they leave, he's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's just super real.
Yeah, Brad Dourif's voice acting, it's just so good. He's such a slime ball. I love it.
So it's really interesting because I was looking up like kind of some of the behind the scenes, and Tom Holland wanted everyone to rehearse, and so the guy who voiced Chucky was actually like playing and rehearsing as Chucky in the scenes with the mom and the son, and it was just like really interesting. Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder how much that played into like the directing and kind of ideas of how like everything went, like just the blocking and everything. So
probably a good bit.
Huh?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said probably a good bit.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we settled that.
I love that there was magic in the movie.
Yes.
I thought that was insane. There's a trend that we've talked about a little bit on here when as sort of like modern movie making. They listened a little too much to like Twitter fans, and we're like, okay, we need to explain the lore rationale for like everything that happens in this entire film.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that in the 80s. Like sometimes things were just true. You know, like when in Predator, which I think came out around this time, it's like there's an alien. Deal with it. Now watch the rest of the movie. And I loved that so much that like there's this murderer running down the streets of Chicago, gets into a shootout with a cop, gets shot, crawls into a into a toy store, and then just starts chanting in Latin and like French Creole. And there's a lightning bolt, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. Let's see what happens. He's a cynical
voodoo practitioner. Get over it. Like he's
it's just so good.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say there is a little explanation about it when he like meets his voodoo master. And
for sure.
That.
Like,
but
they justify it, but they don't explain it. I think like that's something that like I didn't see Backrooms, but I think Backrooms did that. I know Obsession did that. Obsession's just like, and
I think that's part of why those movies are so outstandingly popular, is because you don't go to the movies in order to like have your priors confirmed. Like it's okay for shit to not make sense in movies because the point is not literal. It's supposed to be an emotional effect. Yeah.
And I love that because I think we're getting too analytical with films these days, where it takes away some of that magic. And that's the fun part. And I don't know if I'm biased because I watched this like originally when I was a kid myself, but there's something about like just make believe. Like I remember having like just nightmares about this world, and it's like when I was a child and I watched this, I didn't know the mechanics. I didn't know how Chucky worked. I didn't know like how the sets were built, but I just believed it because the movie was really great at just the storytelling, basically.
Yeah, it makes emotional sense.
Yeah. And I remember always having that cousin who would just be like, but that doesn't even make sense. This wouldn't even be this. And I'm like, just ruin everything.
How could a doll be stronger than an adult police officer?
Or just like dissecting different scenes. Like, see, he wasn't very strong this part, but he suddenly got strong here. So, one thing I really like about Chucky is they use puppeteers for this, like several of them. And then I think they had a little person to actually like play at the very end when there's like burning scene or whatever else. And I love that because the child that Chucky wants to possess is like much like, it looks like he's just gaining over, like becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And I know we are not talking about the remake yet, but Andy it's just like you were so terrified for Andy because he's a little so sweet kid.
He's the cutest. And
in this film, there's just like, he's purely innocent, right? There's not like, oh, we got to make him more dynamic in that sense. He's just pure and innocent, and there's something just more heart-wrenching when Chucky goes after him and he's just scared.
It's horrifying.
Versus I feel like later on the remake where it's more complicated.
Yeah,
So,
fuck that kid. I don't want to give that kid a hug. I want to give the original
when that
Andy
kid
a
was
hug.
in danger, I was like, good.
yeah. I just
It's a brat.
love like being able to just kind of take things at face value, and you know, it's kind of like, you know, objectively who's good and who's bad, and then you're like rooting for certain people, and then it's just it's just fun.
And I think that's where all the like interesting thematic elements that like, you know, kind of start to emerge is when things make emotional sense more than literal sense. So like there's a lot of like killer dolls or like a pretty you know, big subject in film theory for what they represent, where, you know, when killer doll stories start being made, this series in particular being made in the 80s, when like the idea that children should be considered like a population with, you know, that has purchasing power of their own and can be exploited, you know, to like sell dreams to and make their parents go buy them commodities. Like that's very much, you know, part of what's going on here. We talked a couple episodes ago about Poltergeist and how Poltergeist is kind of addressing the same sort of issues of consumerism and these sort of like depersonalized objects that become very scary because they're so mass produced that they feel kind of spiritually empty. And so when a child is like, you know, playing with it and assigning personality to it, there's some ambiguity there about like where personhood really lies, and that becomes very creepy, you know. Like it's like Andy is not scared by the idea that Chucky has come to life. Like Andy knows that Chucky has come to life long before the audience
my
does, and he's not freaked out by it.
That fucking line where one of my favorite lines, I thought I wrote it down, but I don't know if I did. It was like, oh no, I didn't. Didn't write it down. It was like, after the first woman died, getting pushed out the window, Andy's like, Chucky said she was a rancid bitch and got what she deserved.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
No, I mean this movie kind of is about bad influences, you know, like it seems relevant that, and this is like pretty common for these like living doll movies, that they frequently take place in like broken homes, you know, the single parent family who's really struggling and like having to put her kid in front of the TV to babysit him, and is
the dangers of letting your kid get raised by a corporation.
Pretty much,
The first note I wrote, like when it, you know, the cartoon and the pajamas and the cereal was like, okay, Hasbro is evil. So true.
Yeah. And it's like, it's creepy, the show. It's not, it does not appeal to adults. It's not designed to.
But it is, because this is like when Saturday morning cartoons were like big, and because Reagan had dismantled this like advertising law that after that dismantle, I don't know this history super well, but after that, it basically allowed G.I. Joe to exist because you could like have a show, entertainment product that was like directly advertising for like action figures and stuff.
Yeah. I should know more about that too. Oops.
Yeah.
But you are right. Yeah, this is a time where
feels like pretty related to your.
It is. I'm busy. But yeah, it is true that this is around the time when it becomes explicitly legal to sell shit to children. It wasn't really a thing that we thought we should be doing before, and we were correct, because look what happens.
Yeah.
Well, it is like saying a lot about consumerism for sure. Like, I think the original writers actually
Don Mancini.
wrote the script before Tom Holland rewrote it, on the idea of like critiquing how things are marketed to children. So I don't know how that original script looked like, but that was the original kind of like genesis of it.
One of his original influences, according to Wikipedia, was the Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah, Cabbage Patch Kids. Also, another one that I found was these real dolls that were basically Chucky. One was called My Buddy. and the other one I think was called That Kid, and they like design wise are just Chucky. And when like these dolls, these are pretty interesting and worth a
my
little
God.
worth a little bit of a tangent, I think, because those dolls were introduced, you know, to be a doll for boys specifically, which was really weird at the time. Like, dolls aren't supposed to be for boys, dolls are for girls, and this was like controversial because we don't want boys to have good social skills. I guess that's gay, and so these dolls.
Do dolls make good social skills?
Oh, well, I mean, that was the idea. I have no idea if that's actually true, but like, you know, the idea of dolls for girls is, I don't know, to be like kind of crass and reductive about it. Like, you're teaching girls how to be
get
mothers.
To experiment with the world kind of privately through a doll.
Yeah.
Like, and especially if you're lonely. I don't know if it makes you more antisocial if you like overdo it or... But the idea was that like you would play with other people with your dolls. I don't
With your
know.
dolls.
It wasn't supposed to be like a solitary thing.
But at the very least,
Okay.
for girls, it's like, this is what baby dolls are for, is to train you for motherhood, you know?
Yeah,
And to like instill this idea that it's your job as a girl to care and to like provide comfort to people, and that's your role.
Boys
as a
have
girl.
cars and girls have dolls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Oh, excuse me. Boys have blocks that they build up and then knock
and
over.
trucks,
That's
yeah.
true. There's that.
And so, like, I think that introduces some pretty weird gender implications to this movie, where it's like, I don't know, like the controversy, whatever, surrounding this My Buddy doll. The implication is that like it's controversial because it's somehow unnatural for boys to be put in a care position, and this like ambiguity about, you know, your personality and the power of imagination and the kinds of things, the kinds of people that children project onto their toys. Like, I think that, you know, the fact that Chucky is so disgusting and crass and adult and is like, you know, enters this family unknowingly as this kind of fucked up father figure, you know, in the absence of the father that is missing from this situation. Like, it's a movie about bad influences, which is pretty cool. I think it's a good movie.
Well, yeah, I think like because the dad dies in the first film.
Yeah.
So he's quote unquote the man of the house, even as a boy. He's taking care of his mom, hence by breakfast, and you know, he's given this doll as a return to kind of make himself less lonely. But then there's kind of an implication there that like he can kind of take care of himself. It's taken too much for granted. And that is really sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
And I don't know if it would be the same implication if like Andy was a girl.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of older films, like, girls need to be taken care of. They're more sensitive. But what I also do like about this film is Andy's clearly very sensitive. He's clearly reaching out to his mom and, you know, to the adults near him. And it was really heartbreaking when after the house bombing scene, when they're in the interrogation
room.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And he says, "You lied to me, Chucky." And, you know, you can kind of just see the trusting nature and how vulnerable. And that kind of goes back to what you guys are saying, is that like just a doll, a thing, kind of being someone that he trusts rather than adults. Like, he's confiding in this doll and he's being able to kind of like get that influence from this doll that's an animate object rather than like adults around him, because he's kind of taken too seriously or not seriously enough. Like, they're not kind of checking in with him.
The doll is part of a franchise. It's this like corporate narrative structure that is branded good guys. Like, the entire point of the doll and of the character of the good guy is that he goes and saves the day or whatever. And that's the kind of kid that Andy wants to be, and that he is trusting this doll to, I don't know, help him with. And it's so sad.
The doll is teaching him how to become a man. You know, the doll is kind of like vulgar. It's the most like manliest, kind of like just very does what he wants, takes care of what he wants, and the people around him are women, and they're kind of, you know, they're struggling. I don't know if Karen's friend is, who dies earlier on. She seems pretty badass, but we don't really see too much of her.
I was so sad that she died that early.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
but I guess that's like good. That's like good filmmaking
I feel like
to like make the slasher kill a character that you like a lot.
It's better.
I think she made too much sense to not be killed early. I think she would have like drawn a lot of questions. Like,
She would have
like
burned that
question
doll
early on about like
immediately.
that's too expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you're paying too much. What are you doing? So I think she would have drawn holes a lot too early.
It's worth
and Andy would have been
$10 at
saved.
most. Yeah.
Yeah. Andy would have been saved way too early, I think, if she was alive. So she needed to die.
Yeah, I mean, just like the presence of poverty as a reality in this movie is super interesting. You know, how like we begin with this crime in the course of being committed, of course, but then also like this is the rough side of Chicago. This is kind of like the gross underbelly of it. It's like Karen is just
Sorry,
constantly.
excuse me. This is a rough side of Chicago.
There are several. It's true.
Yeah.
But Karen is just like constantly confronting the possibility of the sort of life that she might be in for if she doesn't take this job really seriously and make sure her stupid retail position is secure and thereby leaving her kid alone. You know?
I love the
Ugh.
boss, the caricature of the boss.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much about your family doesn't matter. This is, if you really want to be taken seriously, you must sacrifice, your personal life, your time that you
What?
spent with your kid and everything else just to kind of stay late. To sell jewelry. Doesn't she sell jewelry
Yeah,
or something
like
It's
that.
like, who's buying
Something
jewelry
stupid.
that late that you need, And so it was really funny because I think
What did he say? It was something like, "Do you value your position here
Yeah.
at Macy's?"
I envisioned Elon Musk.
Andy's mom.
Like when I heard him, I was like, this guy sounds like Elon Musk, but like, or
It's-
wannabe, but like in the retail show environment. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
He's the guy who like reposts every tweet that Elon Musk says with either a crying laughing face or a like effing libtards or like 2 American flags. No, 2 Liberian flags.
He's definitely, I think he's definitely kind of just like, I think an example of someone, because I'm guessing, but I don't think he makes that much money himself,
No,
know,
God,
but
no.
it's more so
like
the
lower middle management. Yeah.
it's the
He's just
idea of,
bought
like,
into it.
Management
everyone
at department
loves
stores.
billionaires because everyone thinks that they're going to become a billionaire. So that's like the whole like mindset of that. And
Yeah,
it
and
was
also the
really
idea
funny
that
the
like
way-
in order to be successful at your job, you have to like it's a little bit also what we talked about with the Wicker Man episode, where it's like this idea of human sacrifice has really just been sort of, like the metaphysical values of it has just been lifted from, these sort of pagan understandings of the patterns in nature or whatever, and just like wholesale pasted onto the economy as the great god of the earth that you have to like prove your fealty to by suffering, and by like sacrificing all the stuff that you would rather do than this job, which doesn't matter. And everybody knows it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if jewelry gets sold, It's just like economic activity has to keep happening. It's very much the time period we're in 1988.
I don't want to tangent too hard. My cat so badly wants to eat this toy mouse that I'm playing with him with, but it's made of felt, and I feel really bad that he can't eat it.
Why didn't you give him a
And
snack?
I just wanted to share that with everybody. What?
Why didn't you give him a
He
snack?
has food. He has food available.
Well,
He's
let
just
him eat the mouse.
wants to keep playing.
Let him learn a lesson.
Well, no, he's going in his mouth. He just like, there's no meat.
God, you're such a cat dad.
She's like, what is this? This is fake.
Yeah,
What's this creature turned you into?
he's really cute. Anything else about the first movie?
Think so. I don't think so.
The ending was funny. I thought like when
So funny.
they like killed Chucky so many times and before they get it right, and I'm like, where's the cop at the end? He's just like out of scene at certain point and just letting like the mom and son defend themselves, and they're like, you know what, I'm good, because it's like he's
Give me
clearly
5, I
like
take a breather,
mobile
yeah.
enough to at least like be able to try to shut the door, but he's just like not even on camera scene. He's just cool. And I like the very end when Chucky's finally quote unquote dead, and then his cop friend or coworker is like, I believe you, but who's going to believe me? And just the way it ended was really interesting. So yeah, and it also was very typical because single mom, you know, meets this cop guy, and they have this like, they're obviously going to get together.
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh yeah. And
As
good
they
for
should.
them.
They're
Yeah,
cute
they
together.
deserve it.
They were very cute together. I was rooting for them.
They do.
But
They have
I
chemistry.
kind of saw that like from the very beginning. I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna get together because I didn't remember. But I was like, yeah, it's predictable in that way. But I like that happy ending. You know.
Sure.
Like,
yeah. The rest of it is you know, horrible enough that I think we deserve a happy ending. But then also like the final shot is pretty unsettling, where they're walking out of the apartment door, and the last shot is of the kid, like they're closing the door, and it's a little blurry, and it freeze frames on his face, and it's like unclear what he's thinking about it. And then that's the last shot, and then we roll credits. And I don't know, the way that tone is managed in this movie, like it shouldn't work at all. The humor and all the not humor, like there are a lot of pretty serious things happening in this movie, but
I
kind
think
of nails
Tom
it.
Holland directed Psycho 2.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it was very like similar in vibes of that, just that like uneasiness in that last scene.
Let's talk about
I
the
did
new
not
one.
see Psycho 2.
I saw it a long time ago. I
too,
barely
really long
remember
time
it,
ago,
but
yeah.
I remember the first one much better.
As you should. It is the more important Psycho.
Yeah.
Gus, you're up.
I'm up.
Yeah.
It's my turn. Oh, real quick before we do that, quick shout out to the wonderful patrons.
Yay,
who
the
give us
patrons.
money. Thank you, patrons. Thank you, new patrons. Thank you. And who is that specifically? Oh my God, I don't understand the new layout.
Yeah, they're always
I
changing
hate when
shit.
websites change. I hate change.
I also hate change.
I did not vote for Barack Obama in 2008 because I was 14. Carefree Flyer, Elaine. I don't know if any of these are new. Nicholas Kester. Good job. Thank you. You're nice people. You're cool. Thank you so much.
The best.
If you want to support us on Patreon and listen to some special episodes, including one on Freakier Friday that I will have released by now, you can also join our Patreon.
You can get on the Discord
So,
server.
Child's
That's fun. We have good conversations
That's
there, and it's important to plug it, huh, Gus?
Oh, it's so important to plug because why do anything if there is no financial gain in this
I'm always saying it.
great world that we've all built together?
You have to buy bread one way or another.
Yeah. Speaking of financial gain, Child's Play actually came out in the year 2019. Let me remind you a
remake.
bit about the remake. Let me tell you a little bit about 2019. You might remember this as the last year before COVID. There's a lot of border tensions. There's some shit goes down in India, Pakistan, in Colombia, Venezuela, in Israel, Gaza, where else? A practice SpaceX shuttle docks with the ISS successfully, which is cool. ISIS is more or less defeated by this time, although I assume soon to be replaced by some other pissed off religious fanatics. Julian Assange is arrested in London after spending 7 years in Ecuador's embassy. 7 years. Do you know how
Nuts.
long you've been listening to this episode? Like, not even an hour. So imagine that times 24, times 7, times 52, times another 7.
Which is, of course,
7 years. And that's not
Coward.
even a full 7 years. That's crazy. That's so much time. Zelensky takes office in Ukraine. That's fun. There's a trade war with China. Remember that? Remember when the tariffs were on one country and it fucked up the whole economy for like 4 years? Remember? The pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong begin. The VW Beetle is officially retired in 2019, which I didn't realize and is sad. Trump's first impeachment trial begins in 2019. First of 2. Honestly, probably soon to be first of at least 3.
one hopes.
So maybe we need a different mechanism than impeachment.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's working
someone
as
can-
intended.
Yeah. Google launches the Stadia. Do you guys remember the Stadia?
Not at all.
The Stadia was Google's attempt at getting into video games.
Okay, are you gonna?
Netanyahu is indicted. Is indicted. indicted on a whole bunch of charges. You remember that? Remember when Netanyahu was like criminally indicted by like Israeli Supreme Court or whatever?
Laws don't mean anything. We discovered since 2019.
And also Child's Play comes out.
Wasn't there like a Russia, like there wasn't there something with Russia where we didn't
fucking probably, dude. I don't know.
I don't know if that was early 2020 or just late 2019, but
2019 Russia shit. What happened?
Wasn't there something where like we couldn't travel to Russia anymore?
Oh,
It was
I
dangerous.
assume. I mean,
Anyway, I
probably.
thought something like that happened, but
There was a big protest.
Okay.
There was a crash, but everyone survived, so it doesn't count. Yeah, I don't see it too many things.
all right. I was thinking about another year, I guess.
Maybe. So Child's Play. It's different. It's different enough that I'm not like upset at it.
It's different and stupid.
But
You're
anyway,
not upset at it.
It didn't work. Like I'm not upset. I'll talk about it. So Child's Play. We open with a ad for Buddy with an I, which is an AI doll. It's basically like a doll-shaped iPad for like a smart home. And then like the movie opens in Vietnam. There's this like really miserable worker who hacks a Buddy doll and like removes all the safety protocols and then jumps off the roof and dies. And then it's Aubrey Plaza working at a Kmart. She's got this like really shitty kid who's deaf but only in one ear,
Which is never
and nobody
explained,
likes
right?
him.
Like that's not
think-
important
you
to
know
the plot
what?
at all.
I-
His
yeah, but,
hearing disability.
But I don't mind when people
It's okay.
like just like have a disability.
It's fine, but I would like it to. Maybe I just want this movie to be better. Continue.
Yeah, it would have been cool if it played into like anything, but also like let's normalize,
Sure.
having non-white, non-fully able-bodied all the time main characters and just like not needing it to have a reason. Also, she has a really shitty ginger boyfriend, and the kid and the boyfriend do not get along. Andy, which is the name of the son, is so lonely. He spends so much time on his phone, but it's an old phone. It's a broken phone. And all the cool kids who live in the apartment, they have new phones, and they share things on their phones. And Andy feels left out because his mom took his phone. So he like sits down in the hallway, and then the nice detective down the hall, played by
Brian Tyree Henry.
Brian Tyree Henson.
Henry.
Henry.
One of my favorite living
Brian
actors.
Tyree
He's amazing.
Henry, who is legitimately one of the best working actors
He's
today.
so good.
So fucking good.
He will make the
all the time.
stupidest line sound incredible. He's so good.
This goddamn movie, like every time he was on screen, I was happy.
Mm-hmm.
Except for one moment, which I'll talk about in a second. Hold on, I have to text my mom. Okay, I've texted my mom. Yeah, so he's a shit, whatever. And then at Aubrey's job, she works at like a Kmart. It's not even like an interesting department store anymore. It's like the worst Kmart in Chicago at a stupid strip mall, whatever.
Gus really doesn't like this movie.
I'm just not a fan. So a customer returns one of the Buddy dolls because like the eyes glowed red and it wasn't acting right. And the Buddy 2's coming out in like a week anyway. So like I'll just wait for that one. That's basically what she says. And Aubrey basically steals it for her son to like make up for having a shitty phone or something. And then this Buddy doll is Chucky. And Chucky's not like other dolls because Chucky swears, which makes Andy super popular with the cool kids in the neighborhood. And also, Chucky pretends to stab Andy with a real knife because Andy and his new friends were watching horror movies. And that's not good. That's a pretty big problem. And also, Chucky killed Andy's cat. Because the cat scratched Andy a little bit, and Andy said something like, "Oh, I wish that cat wasn't here. I hate that cat." And Andy throws his dead cat's carcass down the garbage chute.
It's an orange cat. This is why Gus doesn't like this movie.
I want to take a moment and I want to talk about why it's very important to fully think about even relatively small changes in scripts and story ideas, like aging up a kid from 6 to like 12.
Yeah.
Which is that this Andy is too fucking old.
Oh, yeah.
To not to be like, oh, this doll is broken. Mm-hmm. It should not be able to, like, as soon as he got slashed with the knife when Chucky came out while they were watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, that's like, oh, goodbye, Chucky doll, like end of the movie.
Yeah.
The reason the first one worked so well, and the reason it like made sense that all the adults were like, Andy, Chucky didn't talk to you, is because he was 6. And that's what 6-year-olds do. But 12-year-olds don't do
No,
that.
there's no aspect of like fantasy or pretend in this movie
No.
that any
Well,
of the
I
adults
think,
can
like,
rely upon.
The difference is that the first film was actually like ingrained in this magic system, whereas the second one is just technology. There's no magic there.
Yeah.
So I think that is their justification for making him older, is that he's not thinking about it like, oh, no one will believe me, or I'm imagining things. It's more so, oh, cool, my doll can curse. This is really like kind of like more of a show off kind of thing, where it's
Yeah,
so
it's like a
feel that-
novelty. It's not, and I don't know, it seems like kind of a more of a reflection on how I guess we relate to technology than anything else, but like in a bad way, you know, where in an uninteresting way, because it's like people don't think about technology in terms of like how it's gonna like make their lives better or whatever. It's just like, oh, look at this cool thing that this slave in Bangladesh, you know, like tossed himself out the window, whatever.
It says Vietnam.
Okay, Vietnam.
It says speaking in Vietnamese.
Okay, this is Vietnam.
I think like, though, it's like much more, I mean, okay, so when I watched this film, I was like, I want everyone to die, because I have no sympathy for the mom or the kid at many points. And I felt kind of bad saying that, because especially with the kid, but I didn't feel as much like, I didn't feel like things were as much at stake watching the second film. But I did actually like parts of it in like, and I hate that I did, but I did laugh at parts of it. And it took me like some parts to get used to it. But I think like there's more, and obviously Stranger Things, I don't know what year Stranger Things came out, the show. But
Stranger Things came out in between like 2014, like 2016 and 2026.
Okay, so
Lasted way
there's
too
kind
long.
of like some Megan plus Stranger Things kind of like vibe to this.
Oh, totally, yeah.
And I like the humor in that. Like when, for example, the boyfriend who has a family outside and he's, you know, his face is just torn off, and then
Put it on that watermelon.
they put it on the thing and they put like
His
present,
family
they
is
wrap it around with a present.
super into
and then-
growing watermelons for some reason. They just like
Yeah,
Chucky kills them in
yeah,
this
it
field
doesn't
full
make
of
sense.
watermelons. Yeah.
I felt like I don't want to distract from this, and I'm going to anyway. I apologize, but as soon like Brian Tyree Henry, is that right? Yeah. He says like something about a watermelon patch, and it's like, oh, cool. Like now there's a weird racial element to this movie that shows up like a couple times, where it's like, oh wait, we're a movie from 2019. We have to show that we're like aware of social strife.
We're not going to do anything about it. We're not going to say
in the
anything about
middle
it.
of
We're
a
not going to. Yeah, it's not going to
like-
figure into the plot at all. But
Yeah.
Didn't they have
There's
a line in
moment-
Think
there
about
though
it.
with the cop saying that like, hey, there's something like poetic about the white guy who ends up in like a watermelon
Yeah,
patch or something?
that's what it was. And then there's the moment where it's like the cute like teen girlfriend of Andy's, teen girl friend of
teen girl who
Andy's.
is a friend of Andy's. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, does something like kind of badass in Act 3, and he's like, I want to follow her.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's like, okay, feels
The
patronizing.
entire framing device of this Vietnamese wage slave, you know, this is beginning the entire plot by taking away all the safety precautions. Like, it's just that, like, any of these things are perfectly fine to include in your movie. It's okay, but you got to make the movie still, though. You know, they don't do anything on their own. They're not saying anything. Nobody seems invested in the events of this of anything that's happening around
It's very
them.
much like this thing exists. End of statement.
Which is not the same as voodoo exists in this world and you will simply have to deal with it.
Right.
I think it's like questioning technology in a little bit though, because like if you look
I
at
think
this
it's-
AI Chucky, right?
Yeah.
And you look at him, okay, so the first movie, Chucky is bad. He's evil. We know who he is. The kids, is innocent. We know he's a good guy. For this film, it's just a lot more complicated. And that's what also makes it harder to root for, like, Andy because he's also not been that great himself, or the mom, because the mom has some, not the best judgment for a lot of things, I suppose. But one thing that I found interesting about it is there's kind of like a more of a clean slate. Like, is Chucky actually good or is he bad? And you see him looking at the horror films and how Andy and his friends are laughing at it, and for his need to kind of make Andy happy, and then he starts to kind of reenact those things. And I kept thinking, like, is this going to end where Chucky's actually just misunderstood and he ends up kind of making amends with things? Like, and that's when I felt like it kind of, like, me questioning that made it more interesting, because I'm like, okay, maybe like it'll have some weird ending where he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize this. Let me make amends to it, and he's kind of setting right to the wrongs, because there's these other dolls who go kind of crazy, and then he's sacrificed. I don't know. In my mind, I was kind of like having my own movie play.
There are possibilities. Sure.
You definitely had a better movie in your head than what we actually watched.
I think what it is for me is that, like, if we're gonna make a movie about AI, a Chucky movie about AI, just watch the original Child's Play. It's as much about AI as anything. You know what I mean? Because, like, the entire anxiety around AI that this movie is trying to touch upon is also about bad influences. It's just that the bad influence at work is upon Chucky the doll instead of the kid, who I think should be the focus. It's very much seems like the kind of understanding of AI that that a lot of, like, sort of simplistic AI doomers have, where they think of AI as basically a child, like a superhuman child that just, like, doesn't know anything and doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. That's not what AI is. AI isn't a person. AI doesn't understand anything it's doing. AI doesn't even mimic what is around it. All it does is, like, what it is told to do. So, like,
that's what I get very annoyed about AI films, is they're kind of made to be like sentient beings.
Yeah.
And it's like they're not, but it is interesting. Because
we've talked to. Oh, sorry.
Oh, just
continue your thought. My bad.
Just when it reminds me, when you were saying, like, the original film reminds me of The Exorcist, because The Exorcist, they're trying to remake it so many times, but it's just not as well done as the first time.
We're about to remake it again.
Something, like, so magical about seeing that for the first time. I do wonder with the remake if we're kind of seeing it more like, I know for me certainly that was the case when I realized it was, so this is about AI. This is not like a magical system. It's just like the oversaturation of AI films about what danger it is. And I mean, that's a little hypocritical of me to say, also because I like certain movies. That's like, I like Megan's a lot,
fun.
And so there are movies that I like about it. I remember, like, Will Smith Robot, or I think it's iRobot,
iRobot
kind of film. I really like that one. So
I'm pretty sure the name of the movie is Will Smith Robot. That seems correct.
But it feels like with this one, it was a little bit like, okay, here's a screenplay and here's the beats that we have to hit.
Yeah. I mean, like, so, like, I would, the way you fix this movie is simply to have Charles Lee Ray upload his consciousness into the cloud.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. That's one of the biggest mistakes of this movie, is that Chucky was not doing thing. Chucky was not making choices.
Chucky is not a character.
Like, yeah. Chucky's a thing. It's an object. Anyway, so after Andy throws the cat down the garbage chute, there's a bunch of really stupid murder and a bunch of moron kids who, like, ignore these giant foghorn warning signals. Chucky kills the shitty BF who, like, turns out he had a secret family. That's the watermelon patch thing. There's this, like, Nadia. No offense, you're still a good person. I hated the subplot with when Chucky put his face on a watermelon. I thought it was terrible. But, like, Andy and his idiot friends wrap it in gift wrap, and they're like, oh, we'll use it to get it out of the building, and then we'll throw it away. And then, like, Aubrey Plaza's like, who's that gift for? And they're like, oh, it's for Brian Tyree Henry's mom, because she helped us with homework. And Aubrey's like, let's give it to her. And then they do. And then Andy needs to, like, sneak in, like, get invited to dinner at their apartment to get it, to steal it back. But then and it's awful. And then Andy and his friends.
I actually liked it. I actually liked it.
That's okay.
I must confess.
That's totally allowed. But then Andy and his friends kill Chucky, which I liked. They they did it. They tossed Chucky down the garbage chute. Big mistake. There's a creepy handyman who's like been sort of in the background for the rest of the movie. Revives Chucky to sell it on the resale market.
He's a creep.
He is a creep. He's spying on Aubrey Plaza through the Internet of Things.
Yeah.
Which, great choice. Very legitimate fear. Something that Meta is actually really doing with all of your glasses, just FYI. Chucky kills the creepy handyman in like a really rough scene. I had a note here. He gets stabbed multiple times. Then he like climbs up on a table and grabs a pipe, and then the pipe burns him and he falls onto a table saw. He was not acting like he was stabbed multiple times. Just one of the problems I have with the direction of this film.
He was acting like there were a couple of hornets in the room that he was trying to avoid, you know?
Yeah. Chucky kills the Brian Tyree Henry's mom because she said she's Andy's friend at that dinner that I mentioned. And then there's the big launch of Buddy 2, and Chucky takes over the store and kills people with these like drones that he tied razor blades to. And he has a knife and he stabs people, and then he takes over the other buddies and they like bite people on the neck. And he kidnaps Aubrey, and then one of the drones like saves one of the dumb friends by pushing him out of the way, but then he gets caught in the neck and he dies. And then Andy, tells his friends to get out of there, which, by the way, Andy's sort of whole thing was making friends and finding friends. And then in the finale, he's like, I have to do this by myself? I don't think so. Bad. Bad writing. Anyway, it fights back, and then Chucky's about to kill Andy, but surprise, Brian Tyree Henry is actually alive, and he shoots Chucky, and then the movie's over.
Yeah, I knew that he was alive because
everybody knew that he was alive.
They have to end it the way that, similar to how they ended the first film, which is the mom and the cop get together. So, no.
Which I like.
It was
Aubrey Plaza should date Brian Tyree Henry. He's gay.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Okay, so I get criticized a lot for being a little generous about certain films, and this will be another yet.
You are not as generous as Mikey is, so don't worry.
But I do understand some of the choices made in this film. Like I said, when I started out with it, I didn't like it. I probably, if it wasn't for this podcast, I would have probably just paused it and then watched something else because it was kind of like...
Listen, honestly...
big time. We've watched so many movies that neither of us would ever watch independently.
Yeah, exactly. But that's...
It has strained our friendship.
Nonsense. It's made it
strained
stronger.
my marriage. So, no, just kidding. But I remember, actually, this was really funny because this one I actually watched with Jake, and we don't talk about films. We're like robots when we watch films together. So this time we were just talking out loud about what was happening, and he's much more, very, 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 very much more tough than I am about movies, and he'd probably have a very different opinion about this one. But I actually was a stupid kid when I was a teenager, so I made such dumb choices that I could feel for Andy just being dumb and making dumb choices himself, because I was just kind of too trusting, or else maybe just wanted to fit in a little bit too much. So I would kind of it would be I would know better, but I wouldn't listen to it. I would ignore it for people pleasing part of me, So I felt some of that with Andy in this one, where he was he was getting all these friends that he never had before because of this toy. So I thought okay, the toy killed his cat and all these other things, but his need to just belong is so much greater at a certain point that he's willing to put up with all of these craziness that the toy is doing and not listen to that part of his brain, because he wants to keep what he thinks makes him special in front of other people, and that's Chucky. And so it was sad in that way, I suppose. I hated the way he disposed of Cat because of it was just really brutal.
I know.
But that's when I was like, okay, I don't really care if he dies in this film because he's not really sympathetic like Andy from the first film is, who's just pure goodness and just innocence. He's not innocent. He's like way past that, and it's more so he's good, but he's also bad, you know? And I think by the time he kind of is saying, you know, he doesn't want to be, he gets in a fight with one of the kids, right, who has another Chucky, but then he's like, no, that's my Chucky and everything else. I think, you know, the reason for that is because I think he feels like Chucky also took everything away from him, right? Which he did, because Chucky's saying, like, if you can't be my friend, you can't be anyone's friend. So it goes from pure love, adoration to hatred, because it's almost worse, like having something you desperately craved just to be taking it away from you and feeling like you're not good enough about it. So that's the way I read the film. It wasn't as good as the first one for sure, but and the things that I didn't like at the end was like Aubrey Plaza like being like, don't fuck with my kid. It kind of reminded me of The Ring and you know, other films where it's just like that whole mom protectiveness, which is cool, but it felt a little repetitive in its beats. But yeah, I do get like the characterization of Andy, sadly.
I think the biggest disservice this movie does itself is not having a Charles Lee Ray, which I think you can like just sort of like a prototypical Charles Lee Ray, because the important thing about Charles Lee Ray is not that he is specifically a serial killer in the streets of Chicago who does voodoo to put his soul into a doll. It's that Charles Lee Ray is a threatening influence on a child, and specifically a human influence, because the entire point of the good guy doll is that he is this archetypical good guy, and that he's like a figure that any child can sort of project their own pro-social ambitions onto. And so when that object is occupied by an existing human man who is awful, and who represents like all the worst impulses that a human can have, then that's where the threat comes from. That's the horror. And I think there's a story to tell with what AI has the potential to do and the kinds of things that we have the potential to project onto AI. But I think that's a very, very different thing from, honestly, what I think of as the biggest threat of AI, which is that it is a human object. Like, it is a thing that was made by people and that has imported all of the biases that people come with. So, like, I would even be better with this movie if Chucky was occupied by, like, the spirit of Grok, which is an AI that is just entirely made in the image of Elon Musk. And that's why it calls itself fucking Mecha Hitler and brings up South African white genocide unbidden. And it's just like, structured around the idea that the world should be just like this fucking loser billionaire understands it. That is a human element in that AI that I think this movie is missing. I don't think it's like the Chucky doll as a horror icon does not want to be just this sort of generalized AI, I feel. That's for Megan. Mithrigan.
I feel as well.
You said something really interesting where you were saying, like, in the first film, Chucky influences Andy, right, in the wrong way. It's kind of twisted in this one in reverse, where Andy influences Chucky in this film, right? So that kind of, and that's also what makes Andy less sympathetic in this, because it's kind of like a lot of, I see Chucky in the second film the way it's intended. If I were to take it like the way it's presented without thinking too deep about it, is that it's a clean slate whose only purpose is to make Andy happy and be his best friend.
It's a clean slate without the safety.
Yeah, it's no
protection.
And then he doesn't have any guidance, right? So if I were to think about this version of Chucky, like a toddler, where I'm like really exposing him to like the cruelty of the world, or like, and laughing about it or thinking about it, and he thinks like he's starting to get this twisted sense like, oh, this is funny, like hurting is funny, this is what makes my friend happy. And so it's like kid raising a kid, and the kid who's raising this kid is really struggling himself with his own demons and impulses. And so at the end, like, Chucky takes it obviously to the very deep end, because obviously Chucky has to be bad. But I thought it would be more interesting if they explored that a little bit more, about like, is there like a way to go back instead of like, this Chucky is bad? Because, you know, there's like so many sequels, and, you know, Chucky 2, Chucky 3, Chucky 4, Chucky 5, and whatever. There's a seed of Chucky, and he gets married, and all those things.
It's so good.
Yeah,
The
so I'm
Chucky
like, are they
sequels are
trying to
amazing.
make something different by not like bringing the original villain back and
Yeah.
making this an AI system? But the fact that it ends the same way kind of makes it a little bit less intriguing, because of the fact that, like, if you're going to actually go there, let's kind of explore what this feels like without like having, like I said, a beat to beat, like it must end this way, and be more, I felt like it could have been more flexible with the way it ended a little bit more. But I also understand it, because it's trying to fan please and be like, this is what really people liked about the first film, so let's make sure we hit those beats for this film as well.
I just see it. It seems to, I mean, it seems to me like it picked the exact wrong beats. It didn't understand at all why people liked the original. You know?
No, I mean, I think it was trying to be edgy. Like, Aubrey
Yeah.
Plaza was very edgy with like the way she's very different than
yeah.
the first one was like caring.
And she's great.
And she's caring too, but yeah, she's great. But her character, she's caring, but also she's less understanding than the first one, whereas there's like a lot less protective nature, and she is 16 and pregnant. She's
Right.
like she and her kid grew up together. So it's not like they lost a dad and in the first film where like everything seemed to be fine, and then their world was shattered, and now the mom can't, like, is pressured to make ends meet by himself. It's kind of like, because the first film it kind of felt like the mom was caring and adult, but like life just got to her.
Yeah.
You know, she just had to make ends meet, and she had to TV parent her kid. Like, she had no choice. But in this one, not saying that that's not the case, but when you're 16 years old, how much do you really know about parenting
Of course,
in that
yeah.
way, right? So
No, and I mean,
like
I
more likely to
genuinely,
make
I do think
mistakes.
that is a change that I will say that I like. That you know, in the sort of conversion of remaking an 80s movie in a 2026 context. I need to shut the dog out 1 second. He's getting in my way.
I hope I'm not too close to the microphone. Sorry. Test, test, test. Okay, cool.
I think you're fine.
If Jake was here, he would like push me to the microphone a little bit more. I feel a little bit less.
Our editor has had to deal with my fucking like
Yeah, if I'm
autism
out
back
and
and
stuff,
forth.
yeah, I'm just used to
My
Jake
little-
kind of pushing me more towards
My
it.
little neurodivergent tilting. What's it called? Rocking.
Gus likes to lean away from the microphone anytime he says anything
Yeah.
important.
My thing is I shake
I-
my leg
I'm
too
thinking.
much, so I'm always
everything
like, I need a
rattles.
reminder. Yeah, so yeah.
The thing that I do like about what this movie does in the conversion from an 80s movie to a 2026 movie is that, like, you, especially like watching one after the other, you can see how the economics of the United States have changed such that like even the expectation that a single mother should be like caring and involved and like get a good babysitter and date nice people and like, you know, work her way up, that's gone. Like, Aubrey Plaza is just like, I don't know, she's not like a bad mom, she's not mean to her kid or anything, but she's just like kind of a fuck up. And I
She's
think
more
that's-
so, they're
I think
more
it works.
friends
Yeah,
than they are
uh-huh.
like, you know, they're more sister and brother rather than they're like this parental relationship, even with the way they interact. And like when, you know, she has to bring her kid to work, and then she's just like, kill me, you know, kind of face. And it's like, it's very sibling type rather than, or best friend type rather than like a parent. Yeah.
It's a very cynical parenthood, which I think works.
Yeah.
Which the rest of it had worked.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that's really interesting / weird is both the original Child's Play and the remake of Child's Play had roughly the same budget of around $10 million and made roughly the same amount of money at around $45 million,
Well,
wow.
which is new. That's a new thing that's happened.
Well, I mean, inflation, taking that
yeah,
to
for
account,
sure.
it'll mean much less to
Yeah,
have the same
this-
budget.
Well, it's the same. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's less purchasing power, but it's still the same like return.
It did make its money back.
Which is
good for them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Critics were mixed on this one. Some critics actually really liked it. Nick Allen for RogerEbert.com gave it 3 out of 4 stars and said, "This Child's Play is nastier, more playful, and just as good, if not better, than the original
out of his
film,"
mind.
which is incorrect. Peter Bradshaw wrote for The Guardian, gave it 4 out of 5 stars
Jesus.
and said nothing interesting about it.
What did he write his review about?
I don't know. He had like 2 lines. It was like, "It's pretty good. Here's what happens in the movie."
Okay.
You know those YouTubers who are like, "Here's the entire
Yeah.
plot. I'm gonna make one small
Be sure to
joke
like and
about
subscribe."
something that
Yeah.
happens in-" Yeah, that was that. Some critics accurately didn't like it. Peter de Bruges for Variety, 2 out of 5 stars. He said something that I really agreed with, that I know we've talked about before, but he points out how weird it is and how much it takes him out of the movie that Andy keeps violating like the core premise of the film by accepting Chucky ironically. Like when Aubrey gives him Chucky, she's like, "I know it's stupid, but it's like fun stupid." And he's like, "Fine, I'll take it, but it's dumb." And what did he write? It's like, "This is the new normal for horror movies. The screenplays have to seem hipper than the premise they represent, which puts Child's Play in the weird position of pointing out and poking fun at all the ways it fails to make sense."
Yeah, I think that's right.
Which I hate. I don't like that. It's one of the reasons I didn't like
We are
this
in
one.
peak irony in
I
2019.
did. It did remind me, though. I do like this one scene in the very beginning where Aubrey, she blackmails her boss into getting
Oh,
the toy.
yeah.
I thought that was really funny. I really like that.
I almost liked it. I almost liked that scene, but it like. She's like, "Oh, by the way, did you see? I saw you fucking Sandra in the break room. How's your wife?" And I thought it would have been so much more interesting if she had slept with the boss.
Probably.
And I just felt like, to me, that was, I hate bad mouthing writers. Hi, Locke.
Gus says hi.
Nice.
Yeah, I imprisoned him because he was being obnoxious. He was being kind of an ass.
Why don't you just let him outside?
Give it a
Because
second.
the chickens are outside. Sorry.
But to me,
What am I supposed to do with this? Thank you.
okay,
Okay.
what, almost. Sorry, they're flirting. They're being cute.
Here's the mail.
Great, thank you. Okay.
Here's a t-shirt, I think, or something.
They're being adorable.
Was that a pizza box?
It was a-
It's making
yeah.
me hungry.
I got a pizza.
Everybody say thank you, Locke.
Gus says thank you, Locke,
Dan,
on my
keep
behalf.
this in.
Oh shit, you guys are like podcasts.
Yes.
Oh, shit. I thought you were streaming.
We're recording.
Oh shit, sorry. You didn't tell me.
I'll be off in a second.
Everybody say bye, Locke. And to me, like, that was kind of the moment, one of many moments at the beginning where I was like, oh, like, this is not going to be a very interesting or risk-taking-y movie, because it's going to be one of those films where it's like they are going to present the main characters as relatively flawless. And that the problems they have are like that they are poor, and not that,
Yeah.
like, they sleep around a bit and are kind of a shitty
Yeah,
kid.
they point in the direction of sleaze existing in this world, but it's not anywhere
Yeah.
visible,
Yeah, and so then it and then that kind of continues and runs into this problem I had with like the structure, which is like the first couple people Chucky kill are very like justified.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the creepy handyman who's like a pervert, and spying on Aubrey as she showers, and then like the shitty boyfriend who like shoved Andy and is cheating on his family. But then like the next person he kills is like a nice like older black woman from down the hall, and I guess that was like supposed to be kind of the turning point moment where it's like, you're not in a comedy anymore, now it's a horror. But it's like it didn't.
But I think also the turning point for that is for Andy to just like because he's right now, so far Chucky has killed those he hates or doesn't like very much. Like the
Yes.
cat was a tragedy, but he didn't really, let's be honest, he didn't care about the cat very much. At least the way he said it. And I mean, I don't feel like you care about cat very much if you're going to discard it just like that.
Yeah, I agree.
You know? So the boyfriend definitely hated him. So I feel like his trauma from those two instances was more so like, oh my God, I didn't want them killed. I just wanted them out of my life or to stop annoying me or whatever.
This is an abstract,
But-
just sort of, casual wish, one wish willow
Yeah.
style. Yeah.
Yeah, but like when he killed the neighbor, it was very like it was malice, right? It was just like I want to take everyone who's been nice to you, because right before that, Chucky saw him having nice dinner and kind of feeling like that family sense of people. He has other people who care about him. That I think was a turning point to really break Andy, because then he started like, I think there was a scene right then there somewhere where he started like didn't he smash the TV and everything
did,
else,
yeah.
and his mom kind of made
Yeah.
it made it look like, oh my God, my kid has problems.
It did actually,
and-
that at least tonally, it did actually start to pick up in the moments where
Yeah.
it seemed like it was starting to become a story about like how does a normal kid become a bad kid, or like a troubled kid, and yeah, Aubrey Plaza's walking in on him smashing the TV and is like, what?
Yeah.
Oh no, I've not.
Well,
Is this my
But then
kid
there's-
kind of thing? Yeah,
But then-
yeah.
But then there's the line that she has. He's like, Chucky did it. Chucky's doing this. And Aubrey goes, Andy, Chucky's a toy. You have to stop. And it's like, Chucky's not a toy. Chucky's explicitly not a toy. In the world, Chucky's not a toy. In the advertising in the world, Chucky is like an AI smart home
Yes.
program that like, and
I
it's
mean,
literally
I
not
even
a toy.
think that there's like room for exploration there. I've been thinking about this exact thing for my research, because everything's about my research since I'm in the middle of a dissertation. And it's like, I think that part of one of the really, really big problems with social media is that it is sold and designed simultaneously as a civic tool and an entertainment tool. And these are mutually exclusive options. Like you can't like get people to care about democracy and also like tell them that democracy should be entertaining and fun the whole time. And I think that like if they had structured this movie in that way, where it's like, oh, this thing is a toy, but also it does all your house stuff for you, and explored the fallout of that kind of thing, I think there's room for that. I would like to see that in more AI movies.
I also
you know?
think if this movie was different, it would have been good.
But I think it's more so like the way that we talk about phone. It's like this world where we're so immersed in like have you guys seen the latest Toy Story?
No.
Okay,
I've
so-
been watching all of the Toy Story movies recently for a video.
So the latest one, I don't think it's a spoiler. I haven't watched the trailer, but Jake told me it's in the trailer. So this is a spoiler. This
It's
blame
okay.
him.
Or it's fine.
It's
But they're so immersed in like technology in a way where they don't really recognize like, hey, this like they're playing through devices, right? iPads and different things, where they forget like what real playtime is and what like imagination is. So I think like in this film, it's more so AI is so immersed in our culture, even though this is like pre like AI, the way that AI is right now, it's so immersed in this world that you're not thinking about like, because it does more than just play with you, that it's not a toy. It's like toys are supposed to be this, like it's like a new definition of like you of course, toys are not going to just be like a silly thing that you can use your imagination and then, feed it with a bottle or whatever else. It's supposed to be multiple purpose. It's supposed to be cool. It's supposed to do all these things. So these are all these expectations about the toy. And so I think it's more taken for granted, like how much of an influence it can have and how much of like the dangers within it, because it's so normalized.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with that. I just think that's something that the screenwriters should know more about than the characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like at the end of the day, I think this movie was always going to be doomed because it just doesn't have Charles Lee Ray, and that's the entire point of Chucky is that it's a doll that is specifically possessed by a serial
Possessed
killer.
by a
Yeah.
murderer. Yeah.
And
It's
that
really just
What-
reimagined. It's not really like a real.
no, yeah,
Chucky.
yeah. It's like kind of weird to call it a remake of Child's Play to begin with.
more of
It
a
really
fan
isn't.
fiction of Chucky,
Little
right?
bit,
Like, what
yeah.
if Chucky was this instead? Yeah.
One of the things that's really interesting, and normally I put the production stuff way earlier.
Oh, yeah,
but
the production
we just
stuff.
got on to talk, and it was so fun. This movie came out in 2019.
Yep.
The Chucky TV show, which is with the original Good Guy doll, came out in 2021. And apparently, this is like a weird rights situation where Universal owned, what did I write? It was MGM owned the theatrical rights, but Universal owned the TV rights.
Oh, weird.
So this was like, there was MGM, I guess, reached out to Don Mancini and to like the original director and to like some other people who were on the original thing. Like, do you want to be EPs on the new movie? And they were like, no, like, we are making a TV show. We just made a film
Interesting.
like 5 years ago. People liked it. Why would we want to put effort into this like bastardized version of our thing that we're still working on?
Yeah.
Which I thought was really funny.
I kind of wonder how this movie got made. You know, is it an Ashcan thing? Are they just trying to retain the rights?
That's what I was really curious about. I didn't find anything about that, but it was like pretty low budget for like a 2019 movie. It was like a $10 million budget. That's super low.
Yeah.
Right? Am I crazy?
No, it's. I mean, it's on the lower end for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when it's like a franchise with such a big name.
Yeah.
And they're remaking it, but
Yeah.
I think like overall, like for this remake, I see what they were trying to do. Like they're trying to make something different. It just didn't land the way, because I do wonder though, like, and this is me being a little bit generous again, but like, like when I first watched the film, it's like, okay, AI got a little turned off about it. Is it because of the oversaturated like nature of
I thought about that too,
like
that,
our
like-
current environment?
Right, like
am I
watching it in
being a little bit too
2026?
critical? Yeah, because I put myself in 2019, which is really hard to do before COVID, and I'm like, would I have found this more interesting? Because like now I've seen like Megan and all these other things, and we're talking about AI every single day.
Right.
That it's kind of so it's kind of like .com era of boom, right?
Very much
and
so.
then we're like,
Yeah, which
And
like
so-
to me that says that, like, I mean, to me that's like a kind of like lesson in the dangers of making your movie too topical. You know,
yeah,
Yeah.
we're like,
It's
you
like
know,
one of the really interesting things about past AI movies. Like, I know you mentioned iRobot and other ones, something like Terminator. Like, Terminator's about nuclear war. It's not about robots. And like iRobot, you know, I think Asimov like wrote his robot series sort of as a guideline for like if and when humanity develops something resembling sentience in machines, how do we do it? And he was like, here's how you do it. Look at this. Like, you know, it's not really asking I don't know if it's really like talking about AI the way like Megan is, or the way other
well, because
things
one of the
are.
Megan dances. So
Megan dances,
she's
and
already
that's
cooler.
important. Yeah, but I mean, like, one of the interesting things about Megan is that, I think probably the best scene of Megan is that one.
I have not seen
Really,
Megan.
it's good.
Yeah.
The new one's not good.
I'm sorry.
Mithrigan, yes, of course. So there's a scene in Megan where like Allison Williams has built this robot. It's basically supposed to be like, it's like a companion bot for children, and it's
Is it like a buddy?
kind of, yeah, it is actually kind of like a
Bud
eye.
Eye.
And the doll fails in the demo, the big important demo with the investors for Megan. But then, oh God, I think what happens is it's actually like the kid who fails. She like goes off script and she gets really upset in the demo because her parents are dead or whatever. And Megan goes into therapy mode and like talks her through her feelings, and all the investors are really impressed by this because she works, and she's like, she is mimicking the empathic quality of human interaction that you would want to see in a therapy doll. And I think that's kind of what's missing from this movie, maybe. That, like, if you're going to make a movie about AI, it needs to be appealing, you know? Like, the AI has to be seductive in some kind of way.
Oh, yeah, the doll is horrifying.
It's awful.
Which is a bummer, because it is, like, mostly animatronic throughout the movie.
Okay, I think
like.
maybe then I'm an outlier. I thought it was cute. I found it cute. Sorry.
I don't think we have anything else to talk about.
Just like
No, I'm kidding.
the
That's a joke.
scene where I go back to the scene where he's just looking at Andy and then just the face. I don't know. Maybe this is not something I should say about my kid, but it reminded me of my kid. Just like that wonder of like, I'm just looking at too much of like, it looks like a toddler. You know, I have a toddler. I don't know, maybe a little bit more parental kind of point
Maybe
of
just
view. But I
toddler
was just like
brain right now.
the curiosity in his eyes, and I was just like, oh my God, you know, just kind of like, just wanting like I'm spending every day trying to get my toddler to not kill himself. So it's like, you know, when he has a knife and everything else, just like my parent mode kind of came on, and just maybe, you know, just a little biased, but yeah.
Maybe I watch this movie again in like 3 to 5 years when I have a kid.
Yeah, see how it
It
changes our
changes
perspective.
It's
you
different.
when you're in the middle of it.
Gus, when we have kids, let's just do every episode of Once More with Feeling again.
Again.
Yeah. It'll be Once More with Feeling.
Yeah.
Once more. Wait. I wonder if there's a once more with.
The moment's
of it.
passed.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah.
Is there anything else to talk about?
Anything else? There's a note that I had.
So while you're looking at that note, I'm wondering, would
Yeah.
you guys recommend like this film, the second? I mean, I can
No.
guess that you wouldn't even recommend as like so bad it's fun to watch.
I don't think it's very
or
fun to watch,
just
but
kind of, like, not worth time?
I'm an inveterate hater, so you know.
Okay. I feel like I would like recommend it with like asterisks where it's like don't expect too much, but if you want to kind of see like, I feel like it would be fun in like a drunk night to watch something. I actually see myself like having, because there's something just like the way that the for example the toy animal Chucky just bites because it's an animal. It's just like the funny, weird, bizarre things that happen in this.
I'm not a hate watcher. I don't believe that there's enough time in the world to watch something that's bad on
I am
purpose.
a hate watcher. I am.
I came out of the angriest I've ever been watching a movie was I came out of Avatar 2 because it just wasted. It's not a good
horrible movie.
movie.
I-
It just wasted my time.
I saw Furiosa with
and I
you,
was
and
3
you were,
hours closer to death.
you were so mad. You're the maddest I've ever seen you coming out of Furiosa.
I didn't like that one either.
I liked Furiosa. Yeah, I don't remember too much of it, but yeah, I think I forgot what Jake thought about Furiosa. He is the one who made me watch it, so I'm actually forgetting what he thought. But yeah, him and I have a polar opposite opinion, so he probably hated it. I liked it.
It's a good dynamic on your channel.
Yeah. That's why people consistently are wondering why
Yeah,
or
it's
how
productive
are we married?
friction.
Yeah.
I think for any like Brian Tyree Henry or Aubrey Plaza completionists, which I am, I think I guess if you're a completionist, you have to watch this movie, and their performances are so good just because they're very good actors in everything they're in, that I don't think you're wasting your time if you watch this just for them. And that is the as far as that is the extent of my recommendation for this movie.
I would recommend it like in 10 years, to be honest with you, because I like the idea of like seeing how we look in the past about society and what it is showing, because like this one really is reflecting about like the AI generation, and I do wonder like in 10 years kind of, maybe that's a little too young, but like when my son is older, kind of seeing it from his eyes and like his perspective on movies and cultural lens, and seeing like, is this does it feel ancient? Because a lot of it's so informed by the way we see the world, and he's growing up in a world where AI is already part of the norm, that I do wonder if this is kind of like, this would be like something funny in like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, well, to
or
your
if this is
point, like,
something that will age bad.
This movie is already almost 10 years old. And it's and
That's
because
true.
of that,
So
it's
10
like
more years.
Yeah, I mean, because of that, it's like already got kind of a different vibe because we're perceiving it, like you said, as like as part of an AI trend in movie making, which it is, but it's on the earlier side of that trend, and that gives it, you know, that may, I think you're completely right that it's that is making us perceive it less generously than we might otherwise. You know,
Well, we're kind of burnt out by
Totally.
talking about this or seeing the same thing because we have real fear about AI and lack of regulation and what it can do, and that's manifested in films and everything else. But like, I don't know what 10 or 15 years of that will look like. You know, maybe things will settle down a little bit more, but it would be interesting to look back at it and see like, oh, that was funny. Like, because I always think about like these older films, and some of the older films are not like well received when they first come out.
including the original Child's Play.
Like,
yeah, like people
Yeah.
liked it, but
because they were like, it's so foul mouthed and all of these things.
I don't get
and, you know,
it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and so like I do wonder in 15 years if it's just going to make us more generous, or is it going to like be even worse? Like, oh, that's so stupid, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's worth a revisit in 10 years if we're all still here.
That is always, it's such an interesting thought, especially to look at like, because the original Child's Play, like, I mean, I think you just said this, but was basically as well received
Pretty
as
much.
the new Child's Play.
Yeah. Which is weird to think about. It's just, I mean, this is the thing that I really love. Well, there's a lot of things I love about art, but like one of the sort of underrated things that I think art can do and what makes art valuable is that it has a life of its own, and it can be reevaluated, and it can be more valuable to, you know, certain perspectives down the road than originally. Like something like Lord of the Rings. Like Lord of the Rings was not terribly well received when it came out, and like had a big hit.
Was it not?
Particularly, I mean,
Didn't
like
it win
it was
the Oscars? Oh, the books.
I'm gonna hit you. I mean, it was considered like kid shit to be into fantasy. It had a big hit in the 70s, and then with, you know, the animated movies and whatever, and then when the Peter Jackson movies came out, it got a huge reevaluation, and now like I think Lord of the Rings is kind of the definitive story of the 20th century, which like nobody could have foreseen in the 40s when it was written, you know. And I think that's something super, super cool about art, that it can just like attain new importance, which is why it's important to just be making shit regardless of how it's perceived.
And then like speaking of Lord of the Rings, it's also like he rewrote some of the scenes to make the ring work from the original Hobbit, right?
Yes.
So,
So even Lord of the Rings itself is like a, you know, kind of a retcon.
yeah, and I think there might like I don't know if there was, I'm sure there was criticism for that or anything else, but like fantasy isn't what it is today. It wasn't what it is today, and then so I wonder with these AI films in 15 years if it's going to have its own generationally difference, you know?
Yeah, it's a little renaissance.
So.
And soon we'll be talking about 2019 Child's Play as like the harbinger of whatever fresh hell we're in for.
I'm already a boomer. They call me boomer at my workplace. I'm 31.
Did they say okay, boomer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll use like Gen Z slang, and I'm like, what does T mean? And they're like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, Jake says that to
Yeah.
me. It's because I'm very offline. So he'll tell me something, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. And then
so
he'll
nice.
explain it to me, and kind of be like, "You're so offline." Yeah.
Well, watch 2019 Child's Play or don't.
Don't.
I think do.
Don't.
But other than 2019 Child's Play, Nadia, what do you think people should watch? We do this thing at the end of every episode, if we remember, when where we recommend something that we have seen recently or played or read.
So, Jake and I just watched, because he's on the podcast called Sardonicast, and so we just watched The Mummy, with Brendan Fraser.
A classic.
Yeah, and I really like I remember Jake saying, like, he's watched this film, like, so many times with me. He actually got the DVD for me on my birthday because it's one of my favorite films. But he's like, every time I watch this film, I forget what happens. And so we had fun watching it, and it was just a good time. I thought it was, like, really interesting. There's The Mummy coming out, so that's my recommendation. Yeah.
Nice. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like a huge bitch and disrecommend the new Spider-Man because that's the only new thing. Oh, well, actually, no. Okay. So I'm going to disrecommend the new Spider-Man because I think it's really bad. But when I got home from Spider-Man, I started rewatching the Punisher TV series for the first time since it came out like 10 years ago, just to compare the vibe, because I seemed to remember the vibe being completely different in the show, and I was right. The vibe is completely different. It's much better. Punisher TV show is pretty compelling. I think it aged pretty well, so you could go watch that.
The one on Netflix?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
we
all the
never watched
Netflix
it.
Marvel stuff was mostly pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
What about me? What am I going to recommend? I just watched the All in the Family pilot for the second time last night. It's so fucking
Like from
good.
1971 or whatever.
Yeah, it's so good.
Last time I saw that was in a film class, I think.
Yeah, same. It's such a good pilot, dude. I should watch that whole show.
Never
It's so
watched
good.
that.
It's just like a short play. It's one set. There's 5 characters. Sorry, Lionel. It's so good. It's funny. Like, it talks about the same shit that we're still fucking dealing with today. Racist old people being like, what's wrong with calling black people lazy?
It's like
Or it's like,
All in the
I
Family is
didn't-
kind of shocking to watch right now. You know,
it's so good.
the things that
It's
what's his
so
name?
good.
Arnie Bunker, is that his name?
Artie Bunker.
Archie
Bunker.
Yeah, Archie Bunker. The shit. Oh my god, the shit that you could just say in a sitcom in the 70s. I kind of can't stand All in the Family, but I respect your choice. Again, I'm an inveterate hater.
It's so good.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Diner?
No.
No.
Yeah, I recommend that movie as well. Actually, it's let me see what movie year it came out. It came out 1982, and it's actually one of my favorite older films too.
What's it about? A diner?
It's about these couples getting together. It's like a romantic kind of film from that era, but it's 1982, so it's interesting how things were shot back then and just storyline and everything. So yeah, it's super chill.
Cute. Okay.
Yeah,
Diner.
yeah.
Great.
Sweet.
Okay. We done? I'm going to do my classic wrap up, and I'm going to get it right.
I'm impressed you remember.
Yeah. Thank you. Nadia, do you want to plug something?
Plug something. Yes, I should plug something. I should always mark
Yeah.
it when I can. So, well, if you want to watch me and the love of my life argue about films 90% of the time, then the channel is WomanCarryingMan. And
Nice.
yeah, all the other links, relevant links, I'm sure, are in that channel.
And it's so
If you wanna
good.
go
It's such a
elsewhere
good
as
channel.
well.
Thanks so much for listening to Once More with Feeling, a podcast about really fun, super hilarious horror original movies and, remakes. If you want to support us, you can check out our Patreon with the things we talked about like 40 minutes ago. Or you can, if you don't want to pay any money, totally fine. Social media, YouTube, do a comment, do a like. Oh, God, I'm running out of, like, silly things to include here.
Right.
Buy a satellite off of SpaceX and, like, make it explode in a way that it spells out once more
In
with
craters
feeling
on
in
the
night
moon.
sky.
Write Once
Yeah.
More with Feeling, a podcast about great original movies, and they're often not so great remakes, on a small piece of paper. Roll it up in a little ball and put it under the pillow of your roommate, your partner, your parents, anybody you live with, so that maybe through osmosis it'll make it into their brain.
Yes, that's a good option as well. We'll be back next. I'm trying to figure out when this comes
You're
out.
doing great.
Sorry, I think like we filmed it a little earlier.
No, that's okay. It's next week. Bye. This is okay. So we don't have any more Disneys.
No more
after this
Disneys.
one.
We're done with Disney.
So we'll be back in 2 weeks with.
I think The Thing is next, if I'm not mistaken.
It might be next. I think we have one more guest, and then we're doing The Thing.
Either way.
I think it's Dawn of the Dead. I think next is
I'm
Dawn of the Dead. or Day of
Equally
the Dead or
excited
Night
about
the
all
Dead.
of these episodes.
one of the deads. That'll be super fun. Did I do it?
I think so. Nadia, thank
All
you
right.
so much for being here. This is so
Thank you
fun.
so much, Nadia. And you can play the music.
The music.
Yay!
Too often stripped of love, just stare like you